Trump is like the devil, basically.
I want to apologize to America. I helped create a monster.
On this unchecked, incompetent, unhinged president.
I know that you've probably heard a lot of this lately about Donald Trump, but actually, world isn't black and white after all. Here's 7 reasons why you might actually start to respect Trump, or at least see him a bit differently, and how this man changed things in ways you can feel every day. No politics, just results. Tax reform and relief for families. In December 2017, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act became law. Corporate tax rate dropped from 35% to 21%. Individual tax brackets were adjusted, the standard deduction nearly doubled, the child tax credit expanded. For many middle-income families, that meant more dollars in the pocket. Studies show households earning roughly $40,000 to $50,000 saw tax reductions of up to 18% in the first year. When your paycheck keeps more of your work, life changes. This is one reason why he did something people on Main Street remember, not just Wall Street.
$22 billion in 3 hours!
Laying the foundation for today's economy. Before the crisis struck, the headline numbers were strong. Major capital investments, factory openings, unprecedented business confidence. Manufacturing jobs rebounded. Corporate announcements poured in. We're building here again. Although many factors shape an economy, a key truth remains. Policy built the engine. Today's economic stability didn't appear out of thin air. It started sooner. And many point to this period as the spark that lit the current recovery. When the groundwork is laid, the recovery lasts. Making government work and save your taxes. Did you know that the federal government spends nearly $500 billion, yes, you heard it right, $500 billion annually on contracts? But the real question is, where does all that money actually go? And how do you even begin to cut it down? Reform efforts in 2025 focused on efficiency, merging procurement, canceling redundant projects, eliminating waste. The goal, save tens of billions each year. One headline, a major IRS tech contract worth $1.5 billion was canceled in favor of consolidation. Less bureaucracy means you see fewer delays, less red tape, and more value for the tax dollars you pay. When the system wastes less, you keep more. Every canceled redundant project means fewer tax dollars disappearing into paperwork, and more staying in the real economy where people actually feel it. And when government runs smoother, businesses run smoother too. Faster approvals, less waiting, fewer obstacles. Things get built quicker, jobs come sooner, and the money that used to drown in bureaucracy flows back into communities, into people, not paperwork. Efficiency isn't glamour, but it touches your wallet. One big beautiful bill, big infrastructure, local impact. An ambitious legislative package, roads, bridges, factories, tax incentives for companies setting up domestically. Billions pledged. Projects underway. Communities seeing real change. Local factories being constructed, new logistics hubs activating. When a town you live near gets new infrastructure, it's not about Washington. It's about your street, your job, your commute. This kind of policy turns distant talk into visible reality. This bill isn't just about pouring money into giant projects. It's about creating a chain reaction in normal towns. When the government invests in a new road or gives a tax break to a company, it's basically saying, hey, come build here, grow here. And when a company actually does it, everything around it wakes up. Workers need places to eat, shop, live. So small businesses open, new jobs appear, and suddenly the whole area gets a pulse. This is why a law like this matters. It turns a map into a community, empty land into opportunity, and big national policy into something you literally drive on, work in, or benefit from every single day. Strengthening borders and restoring control? Improved. In 2025, illegal crossings at the southern border dropped to levels the country hadn't seen in decades. Not a small dip, but a clear break from the chaos people were used to hearing about border reports that once read like constant crisis updates finally started showing record lows. And for regular people, that shift doesn't sound like a statistic. It shows up in everyday stability.
Since Donald Trump has become president, we don't see illegal crossings.
I stand by my vote. I'm an ex-military. I love everything, everything.
Think of a small border town hospital that used to get overwhelmed on random nights, unsure how many people would arrive or whether they had the staff to handle it. Suddenly, the pressure eases. The system breathes. Local budgets aren't stretched thin by unpredictable spikes. Schools, emergency services, community centers, they all start planning instead of reacting. That's what a secure border actually translates to. Fewer surprises, more control. For some, it's not even political. It's about feeling like things finally run by the rules again. A sense that the environment around them is steadier, safer, more predictable than it was a few years ago. People don't always describe it out loud, but they feel it. The difference between a community bracing for the unexpected and one that knows tomorrow won't bring another shock. It's just one piece of a broader national shift, but it's one people notice in their own lives, even if they never look at the numbers. Leadership in AI and technology for tomorrow. The American AI Initiative and Trump's executive orders didn't just prioritize technology, they set the country's direction. Federal agencies invested over $4 billion in AI, quantum science, and next-gen infrastructure, while the private sector committed $300 billion plus across companies like IBM and Microsoft. I think it goes without saying that this created new jobs, careers, and opportunities. A major reason the US leads today is that Trump acted early. When a country shapes the future of technology, that future belongs to it. Beyond the policies, there's the person himself. Someone who, despite the scale of the office, acted with a direct personal sense of responsibility. Trump positioned himself not above Americans, but beside them. Visiting disaster zones, meeting families who lost their homes. There are documented moments where he covered medical bills, supported veterans groups, or personally reached out to families hit by tragedy long before cameras showed up.
You saved me in so many ways.
That's great.
And the truth is simple. Not every president does that. Many keep distance, stay insulated, and treat people like part of the ceremony. But Trump didn't. For many Americans, that personal side mattered just as much as any policy on paper.
I want to stay with Donald Trump.
Trump.
Even with all the controversy and criticism surrounding him, it's clear that a person people love to hate can still make decisions that genuinely help the country.
I think Trump actually is not perfect, but he's not evil. Trump is not evil.
I hope this video helped you see another side of Trump, not to convince you of anything, but to give you something to think about. Make sure to like and subscribe, because next week we're releasing, or may have already released, a video about the reasons people openly hate Trump. You should always see both sides of the picture. Stay tuned.